Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we are taking a look at Freelancing School.
Ooh, freelancing school.
Yes, it's a program that claims to help copywriters, freelance copywriters, reach those
The dream?
yeah, the dream six-figure incomes.
Nice.
So we've got a whole bunch of their marketing materials, testimonials from students. We've got breakdowns of the courses and even sneak peeks at some of the bonus lessons.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of this stuff, it's raising my eyebrows a little bit in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
What's got me is how they're positioning freelancing. It's not just a side hustle.
Right.
This is a business.
Yeah.
So it's not just write good copy. It's about managing clients, building authority, really understanding the finance side.
Yeah, it's like crafting a whole career, not just crafting words.
Exactly.
Which I think is really interesting. And I think it's also interesting that the founder, Joanna Wiebe, she is a big deal conversion copywriter.
She's got the cred. She's not just somebody who decided, oh, I'm going to teach this thing that I've never really done.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that kind of lends some credibility to it. And it's reflected in some of the things that they say.
Mm-hmm.
They have this philosophy that every freelance copywriter who's working full-time should be making at least $250,000 a year.
Whoa.
That's a big number.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, what's the path?
Yeah.
What are they teaching that is so different?
Yeah, what's the secret sauce?
Right.
Well, they really lean into the idea that copywriters are directly responsible for the client's revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So their argument is basically, top salespeople get paid a ton of money.
Right.
Because they bring in a ton of money.
Right.
And so copywriters, their words should be doing that same thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's not just about your hourly rate. It's about the value that you're bringing.
Exactly.
But, any program can say these things.
Right.
What's the proof?
Well, that's where these testimonials come in.
Okay.
Because they've got stories from students like Jacob who 10x his rates
Oh, wow.
after going through the program. And he's on track to make $200,000 this year.
Whoa. That's a big jump. So was he already super experienced though?
Well, that's what I thought too.
Okay.
But they had such a variety of backgrounds.
Okay.
Aja, she hit her first $20,000 a month after implementing their client processes.
Wow.
And she wasn't a seasoned pro or anything.
Oh, interesting.
She really credits the program.
Okay, so it's not just for a top 1%.
No, not at all.
That's good to hear.
And they actually have another student, Aben, who went from being a single parent, just struggling to make ends meet, to a six-figure freelancer.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And it's not just about the money either.
Right.
Betsy, she tripled her billings, but she also talked about how it helped her build a smarter business.
Okay.
And a more sustainable business.
Because burnout is real.
Burnout is so real.
Especially for freelancers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to hit all the angles.
Yeah.
So how did they deliver on this? What's inside Freelancing School?
So they have these different training modules.
Okay.
And their core program is called the 10X Freelance Copywriter.
Okay.
And it's a 6-month intensive course.
6 months, that's a commitment.
It is.
What do they pack into that time?
Well, they cover a lot. Everything from time management to building authority in your niche.
Mm-hmm.
They even talk about hiring your first team member.
Oh, wow.
Which is something that most freelancers don't even think about.
Right, yeah.
Until way later.
Are they taking you from solo freelancer to running an agency?
Yeah, it's almost like building a business around your writing.
Interesting.
It's not just how to write.
Right, okay, cool.
But then they also have these, more specialized modules on top of that.
Okay.
Like Proposal Bootcamp.
Oh, tell me about it.
I think a lot of freelancers would be interested in that.
Yes. I have definitely had my fair share of proposals that have gone nowhere. What is their secret?
So it's all about learning to craft proposals that actually close deals.
Okay.
And so they dig into how to understand client needs, position your value, really make it a no-brainer for the client to say yes.
So it's more strategic than just throwing something together and crossing your fingers.
Much more strategic.
Okay, cool. What other modules stood out to you?
Well, they have one called Master of Guest Blogging.
Okay.
And that teaches you how to use guest posting to generate leads and build authority.
I like that because you're not just getting your name out there, you're
positioning yourself.
You're becoming an expert.
Exactly.
And that leads to higher rates.
Exactly.
Nice. Do they have anything about finding clients?
Yeah. They had a whole module called Master of LinkedIn Cold Outreach.
Oh, cold outreach.
I know.
I feel like that's a black hole of unanswered messages.
I get it. But they have a very strategic approach. It's about, targeting the right people.
Right.
And crafting a really good pitch.
Okay.
It's not about just spamming everyone.
Okay, maybe I misjudged that one.
Yeah.
Were there any modules on different ways to make money, like beyond client work?
Yeah. They had one called Master of Productized Services.
Ooh, I like that.
And that's where you're basically packaging up your expertise into a set offering with a fixed price.
Nice.
So create a little more predictable income.
Which a lot of freelancers want.
Yeah.
Instead of that feast or famine.
Yeah, exactly.
And I saw they also had a module on setting up and selling VIP days.
Oh, yeah. VIP days.
What is that?
It's basically where you take your expertise
and
you package it into a high-value one-day intensive for a client.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a great way to command, premium pricing. And deliver a ton of value in a short amount of time.
Okay, so they're covering a lot.
They're covering a lot.
It's not just copywriting. It's like building a whole freelance empire.
Yeah, it's a whole business.
So on top of all of that, all those main courses, they also have a whole buffet of bonus content.
So much.
Over 70 hours of extra video lessons.
It's great.
With experts like Roy Furr.
Yes.
I mean,
big names.
Big names.
Yeah.
And one of the lessons that they had was about charging royalties for your copywriting work.
That's interesting.
I had never even thought about that.
It's not something you typically hear about?
No. So you get royalty payments for copy.
Yeah. It's like getting paid not just once for the work, but as it continues to generate revenue.
Wow.
For the client.
That's wild. It really makes you wonder, what other ways to generate income are we missing out on?
Right.
So we've got the modules, we've got the bonus content. Anything else that you think is a key part of this?
Yeah, so they also offer 90 days of access to their community.
Oh, yeah. We are all copywriters community.
They're all copywriters.
Which is so important.
Because freelancing can be isolating.
Very isolating.
Yeah.
So having people to connect with.
To celebrate wins.
Yes.
To commiserate.
To commiserate, yes.
To bounce ideas off of.
Yes. To ask questions.
Yeah, that is huge.
It's like having a built-in support system.
And on top of that.
What? There's more.
There's more. They include this 150-page workbook.
No.
With the 10X freelance copywriter program.
Wow, they thought of everything.
So it's not just passively watching videos.
Right.
You're getting hands-on.
Implementing, yeah.
Okay, so we've got the modules, we've got the bonuses, the community, the workbook. This is shaping up to be...
It's pretty impressive.
Pretty impressive. But let's talk about the money.
Let's talk about it.
What's going to cost you?
So they have a couple of options.
Okay.
You can do a one-time payment and get lifetime access.
Okay, so if you like to own your stuff, learn at your own pace.
Exactly.
That's a good option.
But they also have a payment plan.
Okay, that makes it more accessible.
More accessible.
Cool. Was there anything else about the pricing that stood out to you? Yeah. So they have a double your revenue guarantee for freelancers who are making at least $3,000 a month.
Right.
So if you don't double your revenue in 6 months of joining the program and actively participating, they'll continue coaching you in small groups until you do.
Ooh.
That's big.
That's a big statement.
Yeah, it shows they're pretty confident in what they're teaching.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've seen the big promises, the student success stories, the in-depth training, and even some pretty unique perks.
It's a lot.
But what does all this mean for you?
Right, how do you know if it's right for you?
That's what we're going to dive into in part 2 of this deep dive.
Stay tuned. As we're going through all this freelancing school stuff, what's really striking me is the emphasis on mindset.
Yeah, totally. They straight up say freelance copywriters deserve to be paid like top salespeople.
Right.
That kind of, hit me hard.
It's like a punch in the gut.
Because a lot of times, as freelancers, we do kind of undervalue ourselves.
Oh, totally.
Get caught up in the hourly rate, and you're not thinking about
the big picture,
the value that you're bringing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes those student success stories so powerful.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's one thing to hear the theory, but it's another thing to see
people actually doing it.
People doing it. Like F. Demon, she was a single parent who absolutely had to make $5,000 a month just to
survive.
Yeah.
And she was just...
And she's killing it now.
She's beyond that goal.
Yeah.
It's it's possible.
It's possible. It's, like you said, it's not just for the people who are already...
rolling in dough.
Yeah, exactly.
You can start from anywhere.
And it's about giving yourself permission to reach for a bigger goal,
Yeah,
which can be tough when you're in that freelance grind.
for sure.
Speaking of the grind, we've talked a lot about the financial side, but we can't forget about the lifestyle.
Oh my gosh, the freedom and flexibility.
That's what drew a lot of us in, right?
I know, that's why I'm doing this.
You're not tied to a 9 to 5.
Nope.
You can work from anywhere.
In theory,
In theory, yeah.
you have control of your schedule.
But it's not always perfect.
Oh no.
You've got that feast or famine cycle, demanding clients,
Yeah.
chasing those projects.
The hustle is real.
It's a lot. And that's what I think is so interesting about that community aspect of freelancing school.
Oh, for sure.
Because they're not just teaching you the skills, they're giving you a whole support system,
Like a family.
which can be huge when you're running the show on your own.
So important.
Like that 90 days of access to the We Are All Copywriters community.
Yeah.
It seems like it could really make a difference.
It's totally, because you've got people to bounce ideas off of, you've got people to celebrate with, and you've got people to just like complain to when it's
rough.
Yeah, when client work is getting you down.
Yeah, exactly. And they have those bonus lessons from industry experts like Roy Furr.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
It's almost like getting a mini mentorship.
I know. It's like they're giving you all the secrets.
Yeah, and they're covering some pretty interesting topics like charging royalties for copywriting.
That one blew my mind.
It blew my mind too. I was like, what?
I've never even heard of that before.
I know. It's like instead of just getting paid a flat fee for a project,
Yeah.
you get a cut of the revenue that it generates.
It's genius.
That's amazing. Especially if you're writing like a sales page or something.
Yeah, or an email sequence.
Something that's designed to bring in money.
Exactly.
That could be huge.
I know. Game changer.
So we've got the financial potential, we've got the lifestyle, the community, the expert mentorship.
Uh-huh.
But it really all comes down to the training itself.
Yeah.
Does freelancing school actually deliver on its promises?
Well, from what we've seen in the materials,
Yeah.
it looks pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. They're hitting a lot of different topics.
Yeah, from the tactical thing.
Like client management.
Yeah, and pricing.
To the big picture things.
Like building your authority.
And positioning.
Positioning yourself as an expert.
And it's not just information overload.
No.
Remember that workbook?
Oh, yeah, that 150-page workbook.
That comes with the 10X freelance copywriter program.
It's a beast.
It's packed with exercises and action steps.
It's all about implementation.
Yeah, it's not just about knowing the stuff. You have to actually be able to use it.
Exactly.
So let's say you're listening to this and you're like, freelancing school might be for me.
Yeah.
What are some things you should be thinking about before you jump in?
Good question.
What are some skills or knowledge gaps that you should be looking to fill?
Yeah, like what are you struggling with right now in your freelance business?
Yeah, exactly. What are your pain points?
Maybe you're having trouble finding good clients. Or you're undercharging.
Been there.
Maybe you're just overwhelmed by the business side of it.
Oh, yeah. All the invoices and the contracts and
The proposal.
the proposals. It's like a whole other job
It really is.
on top of the writing.
Or maybe you're just feeling isolated.
Yeah.
Like you're all alone.
Yeah.
You need that connection with other freelancers.
Yes.
Just to know that you're not alone.
Yeah, totally.
So whatever your pain points are.
Yeah.
It seems like freelancing school has something to offer.
Yeah, they're covering mindset,
Tactics.
tactics, even
Yeah.
community.
The whole package.
And we can't forget about the lifestyle part of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not just about making more money. It's about creating a freelance career that actually supports
Our life you want.
the life you want.
Yeah.
Like, imagine setting your own hours,
Working from anywhere.
choosing projects that light you up.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
That's why we freelance.
All right, so that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive into freelancing school. We've talked about the theory, we've talked about the potential,
Yeah.
but now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay, here we go.
Should you actually invest in this program?
The big decision.
That's what we're going to talk about in part 3 of this deep dive. All right, so we've dug into freelancing school, seen those big promises, those student success stories, and that deep training. But should you actually take the plunge?
Well, I think one thing freelancing school does really well is they actually address that question head on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they specifically talk about who this program is not a good fit for.
Okay, so they're kind of taking the pressure off.
Yeah, exactly.
So who are they saying shouldn't sign up?
Well, first off, if you haven't consistently hit that $3,000 a month mark yet,
Okay.
like they're pretty clear that you need to have some kind of foundation.
Yeah, it's like trying to run before you can walk.
Exactly.
What are the other ones?
The second, if you're still kind of just dipping your toes into freelancing,
Okay.
if it's just a side hustle that you're not super serious about,
Got it.
that's it, maybe hold off. This is definitely for people who are all in on building a business.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, what about the third one? So the third one is if you're content with where you're at right now.
Interesting.
Like if you're happy with your income, you're happy with your workload, and you're not really looking to grow.
Okay.
Freelancing school might be overkill.
They're not trying to be everything to everyone,
Right.
which I kind of respect.
Yeah.
So let's flip it around then. Who is this right for?
Well, based on everything we've seen, I would say it's a good fit for freelance copywriters who are making, at least that $3,000 a month.
Yeah, okay.
Who are absolutely serious about taking their business to the next level and who are really hungry for a roadmap to get there.
Especially if they want that structure and support, right?
Yes.
It's like that community and those mentors.
It's like having a built-in network.
Which is huge because freelancing can feel very do-it-yourself.
It can.
And let's not forget about that double your revenue guarantee.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It's a bold move, but it shows they're pretty confident in what they're teaching.
Yeah, they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Okay, so let's say someone's listening to this and they're like, freelancing school, maybe that's for me. What are some things they should be thinking about? What are some specific skills or knowledge gaps that they should be trying to fill?
Well, maybe you're struggling to land, like, really high-quality clients.
Ooh, yeah.
Or you're consistently undercharging for your work.
It's tough to know what to charge when you're starting out.
It is.
It is.
Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed by all the business stuff,
Right.
like managing invoices and contracts and proposals.
It's like a whole other job.
No.
What about if you're just feeling isolated?
Yeah.
Like you need that connection with other freelancers.
Totally.
It helps to know you're not the only one going through it.
Exactly.
So no matter what your pain points are,
Yeah.
it seems like freelancing school might have something for you.
Yeah, it's like a whole toolkit.
Yeah, they're addressing the mindset,
The strategy.
the tactics, the community.
And we can't forget about the lifestyle.
Right, it's not just about making more money. It's about building a freelance career that supports the life you want.
Exactly.
Like imagine setting your own hours,
Working from wherever you want.
choosing projects that actually excite you.
That's a dream.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, think about this. What would it look like to really invest in yourself and your freelance potential? What kind of future could you build with the right knowledge, the right skills, and the right support? Something to think about as you keep going on your freelance journey. Thanks for joining us.